Last night, the new creator of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Gillian, launched his new show on Apple TV Plus that has had terrible trailers. I said it. I stand by it. The trailers have been terrible. But I've had little doubt the show would be good. But Pluribus, I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, you did.
Launched last night on Apple TV Plus. As a matter of fact, I was at the LA Kings game. Me and Ann were at the Kings game last night. And I got a text from our business guy saying, oh my God, the Apple servers just crashed. So apparently a lot of people were trying to jump on board to see this new, I mean, obviously it's the new show from the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul with one of the stars of Better Call Saul. So I sat down once we got home from the Kings game and I watched the first 2 episodes. And here's what I'm going to say about it. I think this show is off to a really interesting start. I see some people go around, this is one of the best hours of television I've seen in a long time. I think people are just saying that because they've got a, Gilligan hard on. But it's quite good. And it's super fascinating. And obviously you guys know from the trailers. From the trailers, that something has gone awry with the world, right? Where everybody seems to be in this rather hypnotic, happy trance. Everybody's happy. And that's just, Carol, we just want to make you happy. Where from the trailers, it looks like Carol is the one person in the world who's not under whatever this trance is, right? From the trailers, we don't know. Now that we've seen the show, we know. And for me, it raises some really interesting questions. They go through the whole how the world got to be that way in episode 1. And it's kind of your stereotypical opening to Contagion or your stereotypical opening to Outbreak or whatever, right? We've seen that before. Although what specifically is happening is very different than those other things I just referenced. But still, it's nothing we haven't seen before, right? But then what it is, again, like I said, for me, the best part about the show is it continuously raised really big philosophical questions that then once you get into episode 2, the show itself starts to ask those questions that you were wondering about in your head through the first episode and a little bit of the beginning of the second. The show itself starts to put those questions on platters and hold them up. It's like, what would you do in this scenario? How do you think the world would actually function if this happened? And were there a bunch of people who were like this? Would this cause problems? Again, I'm trying to stay really vague. Well, I'll tell you what, the thing that really carries it so far is, I forget the actress's name, but the girl from Better Call Saul, who's the lead in the show, Seagate, I forget her name, but oh my God. Everybody knew she was Rhea Seehorn. Seehorn. Everybody knew from Better Call Saul that she's great. Listen, it's way early. She's got to, just from the first 2 episodes, be in some Emmy conversations. She's got to. She's phenomenal. All the performances across the board were wonderful, but this show is firmly and squarely on her shoulders to carry. And she was fantastic in these first 2 episodes, just utterly incredible. And so it's her emotion and stuff like that that really brings you along for the journey. The whole thing's really kind of being told through her eyes. And I just thought it was really a huge accomplishment. Now, look, am I going to sit here right now and say that I think Pluribus is one of the best shows of the year? No, I'm not going to say that yet. What I am going to say is this show is off to a really solid start. And my favorite word to use with a good show is interesting. This is an interesting start to this show that has me wondering out loud even, where are they going to go with this? The characters are really intriguing. By the way, the guy, I'm not going to give away who he is. The guy sitting in the chair is a wildly cool character. I'm fascinated by the character, and I'm really interested to see what they do and what else they do, if anything, moving forward. But I thought he was really good. Anyway, Rob, I know you did not have a chance to watch all the first 2 episodes.
Right.
You just got started. What's been your impressions of it so far?
Now, the first thing I love Vince Gilligan. I loved him all the way back with his work on the X-Files. Of course, I love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. But here's the thing about this show that, like you said, it has a really intriguing premise. But like a show like Manifest, this outlandish thing happens to the world. And I wonder, do they know why this happened? Because there's movies like, or based on the Dome, for instance, based on a Stephen King novel. That
was a show that got off to a really interesting start, and then it just kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah, and also even the book, the ending was terrible. When you figure out what's going on, it's like, what? So this movie has a really intriguing premise, and I think it's going to speak to a lot of people that watch it, because I think that the main character is her attitude is kind of, I think, what a lot of people think. I mean, the premise really works, and this strange thing that's happened to the world and the things that start to happen to her are really, like, I love this kind of stuff. I eat it up, and I know that they've only released 7 of the full episodes for critics to review, but I'm totally locked into this story, because in a way, I sort of wander around half in a dream state sometimes when I'm just wandering around or walking the dogs, and I'm pondering, like, what would happen if this is sort of a great, like, this really strange thing happens to the world, and she's seemingly the only one that is affected or not affected by this change. And it's just, you can't stop watching. The only reason I stopped is because it was like 3 a.m. and I had forgotten it was on, and I just dipped in, and I'm like, I've got to go to bed. I got to get up and do the show tomorrow. And I was really tired, but it was so intriguing. As soon as I get off this show, I'm going to watch the rest. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm now actually really excited to see where it goes, and maybe but here's the problem, Rob. Sometimes with shows like this, let's look at Lost.
Oh, I know.
You set up for years this great premise, and then it's like, wait, that's what this was all about?
Yeah, and I call that the impossible premise. It's because it's impossible to pay off.
Yeah.
Like Manifest was glorious gobbledygook. You knew from that pilot, I'm like, they don't know how this is going to end. They've set up this ridiculous premise that's really cool, but they don't know where it's going to go. That was totally true of Lost. And the thing is, we think they know where it's going to go, so we're gobbling it up. And by the time you get to the final season of Lost, like you just said, like, really? Really? This is what we were all saying in the beginning, and you didn't have an ending, so you just went with it. And that's what's disappointing. However, it's Vince Gilligan, and he knew where he was going to take Breaking Bad, and he knew where he was going to take Better Call Saul.
And he knows where he's taking this.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited.
All right, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see the first couple of episodes of Pluribus? By the way, a Latin term that means many. Did you have a chance to see the first 2 episodes? Apparently, a lot of people did, because the Apple servers crashed for a little while. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think it's one of the best things on television in the last couple of years, but man, it's off to a solid start and a fascinating start. And I'm really curious to see where this is going to go. Whatever you guys thought about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.